10 best NFL players that never won a Super Bowl. Number 10, Randy Moss. Randy Moss was on the perfect Patriots when the Patriots went 16-0. This was Moss's chance to win a Super Bowl. He got a touchdown late in the game. He was about to win a championship, but the unluckiest thing happens. David Tyree catches the ball on his helmet. One of the greatest plays ever. The Giants go on to score a touchdown and win the game. No ring for Randy. And the crazy thing is, Randy Moss had a record-breaking 23 touchdowns that season. He did everything for Tom Brady and the Patriots. Number 9, Barry Sanders, the best running back in NFL history. Barry had seasons with 2,000 yards and 17 touchdowns. Nobody could tackle Barry Sanders. He was too good. The problem is that the Lions were terrible. Barry was the only superstar on the team, and he couldn't do it all by himself. But in 1991, he finally had a chance. Barry Sanders ran for 1,900 yards, 17 touchdowns. The Lions had the number 1 seed. They beat the Cowboys in the playoffs. It was the Lions' first playoff win in 65 years. So the Lions go to the NFC Championship, just 1 game away from the Super Bowl. This is his chance to win a ring, but they lost to Washington. Barry played amazing, but the rest of the team played like doo-doo. Number 8, Matt Ryan. Matt Ryan was closer than any player to winning a Super Bowl. The Falcons are up 28-3 at halftime against the Patriots. Matt Ryan was the MVP that season, and he was about to win his first ring. But Tom Brady made the greatest comeback in sports history, and the Falcons lost, which means no ring for Matt Ryan. Ryan had 5,000 yards and 40 touchdowns that season. He was unstoppable. Up to this point, Matt Ryan was a top quarterback every season, but this game changed him forever. After 9 years of being the star, the Super Bowl loss hurt Matt Ryan so badly that he was never a good quarterback again. Number 7, Wes Welker, the unluckiest player in this video. Wes Welker was Tom Brady's number 1 receiver for 6 years when Brady was in his prime, but he never won a Super Bowl. How is that possible? You won't believe this. Welker played in 2 Super Bowls with the Patriots, losing both of them, and one was his fault. Wes Welker dropped an easy catch that he would make 99 out of 100 times, but somehow he dropped it. That's the reason the Patriots lost that game. It gets worse. Wes Welker left the Patriots to join Peyton Manning on the Broncos, and he went to a 3rd Super Bowl, this time with Peyton Manning leading the way, and they lost. Welker played with the 2 best quarterbacks of our generation for 8 total years, and he couldn't win a single Super Bowl. When you type unlucky in the dictionary, you'll find Wes Welker. Number 6, Adrian Peterson, MVP, Offensive Player of the Year, a season with 2,000 yards and 20 touchdowns. Adrian Peterson was the best running back of our generation, but the problem, he was always the best player on the team. As he dominated, the rest of his teammates didn't help. His quarterbacks were Matt Castle and Christian Ponder. In case you don't know them, let me give you a detailed explanation on who they were. They were trash! The craziest thing, Adrian Peterson never even made it to the Super Bowl. He's never gotten past the first round of the playoffs. The Minnesota Vikings failed Adrian Peterson because he deserved a ring. And right after he leaves the team, then they get Kirk Cousins. Then they get Justin Jefferson. Now they want to get a good team. You should be ashamed of yourself, Minnesota. Number 5, Donovan Donovan McNabb. Donovan McNabb forever changed the quarterback position. Michael Vick was fast, but he never won anything. McNabb was the first fast quarterback who actually won games. In 10 seasons with the Eagles, he had a winning record in 9 of them. He was a winning quarterback and future Hall of Famer. McNabb should have won a Super Bowl, but what happened? He went to the playoffs 7 times on the Eagles. He made the NFC Championship 4 times. And in 2004, he finally made the Super Bowl. It was Tom Brady versus Donovan McNabb. Brady threw for 230 yards. McNabb threw for 360 yards. Brady threw for 2 touchdowns. McNabb threw for 3 touchdowns. He played better than Brady in a Super Bowl. The Eagles were winning in the 4th quarter, but their defense let the Patriots come back. And it was another ring for Tom Brady and Donovan McNabb's last chance at winning a Super Bowl. Number 4, Larry Fitzgerald. Larry Fitzgerald is number 2 in NFL history in receiving yards. He is a Cardinal legend. He played 17 seasons with them. That's some loyalty. He made the Super Bowl in 2009. Larry had a clutch 64-yard touchdown in the 4th quarter to give the Cardinals the lead. But the Steelers had one last possession with 40 seconds left on the clock. Ben Roethlisberger makes one of the clutchest throws in NFL history to Santonio Holmes, who makes an insane catch to win the game. The Steelers won, and Larry Fitzgerald never got another chance at a Super Bowl. If only Santonio Holmes didn't make that catch, Fitzgerald would be a champion. Moving on to the top 3. Number 3, Tony Gonzalez, arguably the best tight end of all time. He was the heart and soul of the Kansas City Chiefs. In 17 seasons, Tony Gonzalez made 14 Pro Bowls. Just to compare, Gronk had 5 Pro Bowls and Travis Kelce has 8 Pro Bowls. And Tony has 14! With 15,000 receiving yards, 111 touchdowns, there was only one thing missing from Tony's career: a Super Bowl. And he had his chance in 2013 when he was on the Falcons. It was the NFC Championship, Falcons versus 49ers. It was a close game, but the Falcons lost by 4 points. He deserved it. He had Matt Ryan at quarterback, Julio Jones at wide receiver, a super team on offense, but the Falcons defense was some hot garbage and lost them the game. Tony never got close to a Super Bowl again. Number 2, Dan Marino. Dan Marino led the Dolphins to the Super Bowl in his 2nd season. He won MVP that year and was expected to win it all. Marino is a top 3 QB of all time, but in the Super Bowl, he faced another top 3 quarterback, Joe Montana. Dan Marino threw for 318 yards, but Joe Montana passed for 400 yards and 4 touchdowns. So the 49ers won the game and the Dolphins lost. Even though Dan Marino broke the NFL's passing yard record with over 61,000 passing yards, he never made it to the Super Bowl again. The NFL almost got rid of the Dolphins because of how terrible they were. But Dan Marino saved the franchise by making them good again. He played all 17 years of his elite career for them. But his loyalty cost him a Super Bowl, because if he went to a better team, he would have had like 5 Super Bowls. And number 1, wait, before number 1, let me just show you the worst player to win a Super Bowl. It is Brock Osweiler. He was going to be the future quarterback of the Broncos until they realized he was trash, and they signed Peyton Manning to replace him. But guess what? In 2016, he was blessed to sit on the bench as Peyton Manning led the Broncos to a Super Bowl win. If we look at Brock's playoff stats, we can see how much he helped them win the Super Bowl. He had 0 interceptions, but he also had 0 touchdowns, 0 completions, and 0 passing yards. He literally did not play play one snap and won a Super Bowl. And number one, the moment you've all been waiting for, Terrell Owens. When you talk about the best receiver of all time, Terrell Owens is in that conversation. One of the wildest players in NFL history. He always put on a show. In 15 seasons, he had 16,000 receiving yards, 155 touchdowns. But the reason Owens never won a Super Bowl was his personality. He was always on great teams, but he caused problems in the locker room because he was acting crazy. He made the Super Bowl once in 2005 when he was on the Eagles, but they lost to the Patriots. No ring for Terrell Owens.